Well, he is arguably the greatest of all time at his craft. A first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. The question, will we ever see him pitch again? And if not, what happens to his post-baseball playing career? And might he take a lesson from Matt Williams?
The sight of Mariano Rivera blowing out his knee, ending his season, potentially ending his career and changing the paradigm of power of Major League Baseball as we know it, brought to mind the most simple and basic premise. We think we do, we wish we did, but we don't have control of anything on this planet, do we? Sports just mirrors this, magnifies it. We all want to go out on our own terms, at our pace, and with our carefully crafted script. So do professional athletes. Think about how rare that really is. We've already documented here in the past some of the heaviest hitters in our recent memories who hung around too long and limped to the finish line. If that. Sports is not mutually exclusive to this character trait. The television sitcom rule of thumb is to be like the old Mary Tyler Moore Show or recently Seinfeld. Go out on top. The Sopranos pulled it off. Breaking Bad will. Which brings us to Matt Williams, of all people. He is such an interesting contrast. He carefully and at times flagrantly manipulated a very trying time in the middle of his Major League career, his prime. He forced the hand of the Cleveland Indians just off an extra inning loss in Game 7 of the World Series, instigated his departure in the name of the custody of his children. He wanted to be home with them, and if it cost him his career, he was ready, willing, and able to cash out. All he wound up doing was engineering a move to the then expansion Desert Southwest in the brand spanking new Arizona Diamondbacks, whoever and whatever they were. All he did was become one of the first leaders and faces of the franchise. We sat down with Matt recently for an upcoming In My Own Words special here on Fox Sports Arizona, and I'm not blowing smoke. It was one of the most fascinating sit-down interviews I've ever been a part of. This is the story of the transformation of a man so intense that he created his own personal space every night in the D-backs clubhouse, just with a stare. It's the story of a man who used to carry the weight of what felt like the world on his shoulders to now being one of the happiest professionals in sports. The evolution is so obvious that if you've been around these parts for a few years, you can literally see it. You can feel it. He opened his home, his heart, and his head to us, unlike hardly any before. But despite all that Matt was able to pull off during his Major League career, the Gold Gloves, the All-Star Games, the World Series triumphs, the long ball, and longevity, Williams couldn't craft the ending as he would have liked. Nobody can. Spring training injuries began to mount. The Diamondbacks had to look to the future and traded for it. And one night in San Diego, it was over. He knew it. His manager knew it. His teammates knew it. His bags were packed, and off he went into the night. The Marine climbed into his own car with his wife, and they simply drove back home to Phoenix. Sort of an inglorious ending to what at times was a glorious run in the big leagues. Imagine what that drive must have been like. Set for life, but on empty. Interstate 8 is always better heading west, isn't it? I thought of Matt Williams when I saw Mariano Rivera fall to the ground. I've always wondered what might have happened had Joe Torre not had the infield in that night in November of '01, and if it were Williams at the plate with the season hanging in the balance. We found out that night at his house that he wondered too. Any big leaguer would have. Most wouldn't admit it publicly. Matt did. He wanted the bat in his hand and the World Series on the line. He wanted to be that guy. His ending, though, has evolved into a new beginning. Mariano Rivera, arguably the greatest closer of them all, hobbled on crutches, the weight of the New York Yankees on his injured knee, said recently, "I'm not going out like this." He just might.
Kind of ironic, the only hiccup on his postseason resume right here at Chase Field, which led to the greatest moment in Arizona sports history. That'll do it for this edition of the 10th Inning, presented by CenturyLink here on Fox Sports Arizona. I'm Todd Walsh. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at the ballpark.